Hi, I'm Ron Mulvey and welcome to the class. I'm a professional landscape painter and I would love to share some of the skills and techniques that I use as a watercolor painter. In this class, I'm going to show you how professional artists paint wonderful watercolors with very little effort. Here are the two things that ensure their success. First, we rarely jump into a painting, we prepare. We prepare our materials, space and a time to work. And most importantly, we prepare several thumbnail sketches which will decide the final painting. Second, we enlarge and develop the thumbnail and then we get to work. Sounds simple, doesn't it? And it's easy to do, but it's easy not to do. Don't rush into your artwork. Make a point and get prepared, and then follow me through this class using the right techniques to create a wonderful watercolor. The main thing is to have good materials. If you can't get the best, then get the grade under. Don't get the cheapest paints you can find and brushes. You will not succeed with poor materials. These are the materials we'll be using. A mop brush, sometimes called a saber brush. It's a long pointed brush. A medium-sized brush, either sable or just a synthetic Robert Simon. So 3 brushes, your choice. A pencil, a pen that doesn't bleed when you add water to it, like a Sharpie, some green tape. I recommend painter's tape rather than masking tape because the tack on masking tape is very acidic and it stays on your paper. 3 colors I'm going to use today. I'm going to use a light yellow that's very transparent. This one's called Azo Yellow. I'm going to use a permanent crimson, a alizarin crimson, and I'm going to use a permanent phthalo blue. These all 3 colors, if you're just beginning watercolors, are a great choice because they stain the paper instead of sitting on top of the paper. And that's what causes muddiness. So one of the things we're going to learn today is how to keep your paints from being muddy and dirty looking. You'll also need some good quality paper. Arches 140-pound paper, or you can use a Cotman, or you can use a Canson 140-pound paper, any kind of watercolor paper that's real watercolor paper. So I'm looking forward to you being in the class, and let's do some lovely little landscapes together. I'm feeling fairly partial to this design here. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little X through the picture, and there's my center point right here. So X marks the spot for the center. So there's my center. And then I go through where the X goes through here. That is going to be my middle here. So I can start this by going very gently over this. Find my middle. There's my middle. I think I'll start with the basic shape of the land, which goes out and over like that. So from the bottom, over here, past the middle, I'm going to come out with a little shape like that. And then it just goes up a little bit with a couple little wiggles like that. I like that. So out, then up, like a triangle, over a couple little shapes, and there we have it. I mean, simply put, it would be straight out and then up like a basic triangle. Remember, we're working pencil so that we can erase it later. Add a few little branches to it, going down And over here, going down, maybe 3, and maybe one on the other side here, see? So that one's on the other side, you can't see it. Little sticks shooting up here, 1, 2. There's always a bit of brush underneath a tree. Now the next tree is very close to it, and it's straight also. So, and it's going to be a little bit skinnier here. It's going to come up like that, and we'll make it what's called a spar for now. Just a couple little branches coming over. Then we have a little leaner. The leaner, we're just going to put a few wiggles in it like that, and we can add some foliage to it later. So 1, 2, 3, and I like this other one over here, and it's a different distance than this one, so we'll put it about here. And like I say, we can add whatever we want as far as foliage goes. A couple more little sticks here and there. Just kind of, then a nice big rock here. And then a little rock. It's always good to contrast a big rock with a little rock. Some more grass. Now we're going to put this line lower than this one. This was right almost in the middle. So we're going to put a little bit lower. And about there. I'm looking around. I like this big 1, 2, 3 shape here. Maybe I'll go with that. So 1. And then over a little bit. And then down. And this one has a very large shape up here. And we'll kind of wiggle that in. Just go over the tree, bring it up to here. There we go. It's hard to tell which is the tree and which is not. Is this the tree or is that the tree? Oh, that's the tree. Look, there's the tree. We don't need to do it there. There we go. Excellent. So this probably would come down right about down here. There. Nice big shape. Well, what do you see? You like these clouds here? I'm liking them. I kind of like those. 1, 2, 3. I just draw over everything for now. I might go over a few things like make the branches a little more interesting by adding some extras to it. Neutral colors, basically it's a mixture of the 3 primaries balancing out one over the other. And just give the tree a little shade of brown. Oh, look at that. I left a little white there. See that? I'll take a little more of this brown and drop it in. Remember, this is the good paper. This is Arches. Get this one here. So there's several ways to do it, but I'm going to just hold my brush and stroke it down. And when I get to the end, add some dark in different places to vary the darkness and lightness. Same with here. I might add a little more dark at the top here, especially where the branches are. Another way is to take your brush and wet it. And wet the tree. Just add a little water to the tree, like that. Let's make this one a little different. Let's add a little bit of blue to it first at the bottom. See? All trees don't have to be brown. Clean the brush. I really like this Neptune brush. It's by Princeton. It's a number 4. Very nice brush. And we'll take a little of this and we'll drop that in. Especially near the bottom. The paper's dry, so you see by taking the end of the brush like that, I get a nice texture. You can also do that in the grass. I'm going to take the end of my brush. I'm going to dip it in the nice bluey brown, and I'm just going to run it right up like that. This is a great way to get really fine lines. I'm going to smooth it out, see? Just playing with a few shapes, dark and light. Let's go with a very light alizarin crimson. And here's my little checker here. A little more water. Violet is a very wonderful color because it really tells you something's in shadow. Come beside it and soften all the edges. The top of the rock should be the same color as the sky. We'll do the bottom of the rock, just a little bit of this brown. And we want the rock to look like it's stuck into the ground. We'll just leave it and let it dry. Now this is called a bleed mark. Now what happened was this was on dry paper, so this was drying. And when I added water on the side there, probably a little bit too much, but I was careful, following good principles. And look what I got. I got this little bleed up here and here, which really does add some charm to the picture. So what I'm going to do now, it's dried a little bit more, is I'm going to mix up a medium dark. Notice I have nothing dark here yet. I'm going to make a great neutral dark. Now I want a neutral dark, but I don't want it to be I don't want it pasty. And pasty paint comes from using the cadmiums, the burnt sienna. So what I'll do is I'll take a little bit of a drop of the yellow and get a really nice dark green here, which I will introduce into one place just to see what it looks like. It seems to me the sun's coming from here. So I'm going to put a little dark green right here. See? Lovely. Maybe a little pinch here, a little bit behind the rock. Oh, look, it's wet. Happy accident. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. You'd be surprised what it looks like when you come back in a few minutes. I wouldn't dare go up there. It's still a little bit wet. I might do a little drop here, but I can see that's still wet, so maybe not. I'm just putting little green dots in there to give me some dark sections. Let it dry totally, because when it's dry, you have more control. Not as exciting, but you do have more control. So we'll see you when it's dry. Let's create a nice dark color here, dark neutral, that lightens out to here. So a little bit of phthalo, a little bit of alizarin, and a pinch of the yellow. I'm using the Azo yellow. See what it looks like. Okay, quite red, not what I'm looking for. So what I'll do is I will add a little bit of that over there. Add a little more phthalo and just a smaller amount of yellow. And now I'll check it. It's getting closer, see? Needs more blue. There it is. I sort of see a round shape here. Look into your drawing and see if you can find shapes that can become things. I'm thinking that's make a nice rock. So I find my neutral color, which was right here. And I'm going to just add a little bit of a wetness to it. And add a little dark to the bottom. See, just putting a little darkness into the bottom. And this is the dark side of the rock. It's coming along here. Another rock here, just tapping. That might be a little rock there. Bringing shapes into focus. One of the tricks for rocks is to have 3 planes or 3 sides, like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Light, medium, dark. Let's put a real dark in there. Let's get it really dark. And just tap a brush into the corner there, see? And each one gets a nice dark spot over that green. Nice. How about a little brighter red on this one? See, I'm taking some of my, what I call tasty colors. I'll mix it on here. Look how red that is. Just take a little bit, it's almost dry. See? And I'm just going to put a little bit on here, like that. And then clean the brush off and come at it from either side to soften it. We don't want to be garish with our colors. Subtle. Subtle is better than bold sometimes. Bold is good too. Always watch more than you paint. Got some white around your picture. It just makes it stand out, almost like you want to say, oh, whoa, that looks way different. Here we go. Now what am I going to do? Well, these values are exactly the same. So first I'm going to darken that. Take a little bit of the initial color, pop it in, just a little bit here and there. Maybe add a little tree strokes like that, a few dots to give it some texture. I'm going to keep the bottom fairly light. There, now it's a little bit darker, so it's a little closer. The farther away things get, the less dark they get. I'm going to take my little blue and I'm going to add a little bit of the azo yellow. I think I'll do it over here. And I'm going to put a little bit of little strokes like this. Let me show you on this little scrap piece of paper. Now this is a difficult part, is doing the branches here. So all I do here is I take a little bit of the alizarin and a little bit of the cadmium. If you don't have cadmium red, it's okay. You don't need to use it. But I find cadmium and alizarin with just a spot of the phthalo will give me a good mixture for branches. Got some good darks here, scattered darks. This will dry a little different, but there we go. I want to thank you for being in the class. If you follow the outline of this class and use it in your projects, you'll have great success and you'll experience something that is called non-frustrating art. That's where you actually enjoy what you're doing because things are working out. Well, good luck, and we'll see you in the next class, which won't be too long after this one. We're all here to help each other, and remember one important thing: there are no mistakes in art.